Welcome back to Me and You Outside. Hey, just a video or two ago, I showed a good friend of mine finishing out some otter that I had caught. And I had 5 otter. He finished them out for me, got them looking really nice. And that's something you've got to do or should do to take them to a fur buyer. Now I'm at a fur buyer's business right here in Southwest Missouri. It's called Peterman Fur Company, just Peterman Furs. Peterman Furs. And I'm here with the owner of this company. His name is Derek. He's standing right here, but I'm going to show you here in a minute. He's going to grade these otter. He's going to tell me what they're going to bring. And I'm curious because I haven't sold otter in 2 years. I have no idea what they're going to bring. Maybe $5, maybe bring $50. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. So stay right there and let's see what happens here. Now, these are the 5 otter right here that I had caught. Every one of them, and most of these I think I did on video. So if you can look at previous videos and see that. And of course, here is Derek Peterman right here. He is the guy that's going to grade these. He's going to show you what he looks for, and then he's going to tell me kind of what they're worth. And so that's what we're going to do. You go, Derek.
All right. Well, this one right off is a big otter. He's got some good size.
Yeah.
You take him and compare him. You know, he was caught a little earlier, probably, and just not quite as prime. You can see the leather difference.
Yeah,
you know, this one is just, I call snow white. Mm-hmm. And this one, he isn't blue, but he isn't just snow white.
Yes.
He's just kind of, but he doesn't have any damage, and he's a good sized otter.
Good.
So we'll put him there. This one is a little bit smaller, but really prime. And 40, 38, and 34 are the sizes of otter, and that one is between the 34 and 38.
Okay.
Then we got one here that's really good and prime and doesn't have any blemishes. The blemishes be like on this one. He's got a spot there.
Yes.
And these little spots are tick bites.
Oh, wow.
And so a few scattered out isn't going to hurt. Sometimes you'll get like a whole wad of ticks in one area and it'll make a bigger black spot.
Oh, wow.
And they'll kind of, where they chew and itch right there, the animal will scratch at it and make a bald spot in the fur, and that'll show up on the leather, which these overall are a pretty clean set of otter. Here's one that had a lot more tick bites, but they're pretty evenly spread out. Sometimes you'll see they just get in one spot and really just pretty much make a hole, but these are good and spread compared to like this otter. You know, it got lucky and didn't have very many ticks all summer.
No ticks.
He did well.
Cool.
And here's a big size otter that's real prime. He's got this one little spot down here, but the rest of them are pretty scattered, and he's got good fur. You can tell the difference in the fur. This one's a lot heavier furred than this one.
Yeah, you see it.
You know, the leather never lies, but it's darker leather, and you can just tell he's what they call flatter. You know, there's just a lot more poof to the fur, like in this otter, than there is in this one.
Yep.
And then this one, he's got more, but he's not quite as heavy as this otter. This one, the only thing I'd change about him is to make him 40 inches long. He's just not a big one.
Yes.
But he's a nice otter. But he's just not as big as that one.
Okay.
And this one, you measure from the nose to the skirt always, and the skirt is the highest point here. And so, I mean, he's a 36-inch otter.
Yeah.
And like I just said, 38 and 40 is your 2 big sizes. So if this one would go 38, I mean, he'd make the top pile. His tick spots are spread out enough that it's not going to hurt him. And then this one would be a really good one. It's just size is keeping it from the very top pile.
Yes.
And then this one, Kyle did a really good job putting him up. He pulled it down and got to 38 inches right there. He just barely made it. And that's a nice, clean, big otter that makes the big pile. So we got 2 at 45 here, and we got 3 at $40. And these two, this one especially, has got plenty of size. It just ain't as good an otter. It's just not near as heavy fur.
Sure.
And this one is good enough. He's just on the
small.
smaller
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
And The more damage, this is a nice set of otter overall. You get a lot more damage than what these 5 represent sometimes.
Okay.
And, you know, they have lower grades for them. But overall, this is a nice set of otters here.
That's awesome. Okay, now, and then great on the otter. Now then, he's going to show us something here that has not been this way for, what, 10 years or more?
Yeah, I don't, it's been a while.
And that's the Beaver Market. I want you to check all these beaver out. He has got stacks of beaver in here. This is what the old timers back in the day, the old beaver trappers, this is exactly what they looked like. Nothing has changed on the way you put them up, the way you dry them, the way you scrape them. And tell me about the beaver a little bit.
They're strictly going for the Hatter Market right now. The Hatter Market's the only market, but it's really strong. And kind of what started that about a year or a little more ago is the show Yellowstone. The cowboy hats got popular, and this is what they make cowboy hats out of, is our beaver right
beaver.
here. And so that kind of got the ball rolling for the hat demand. And so if they need to make a lot of hats, they need more beaver to make them with. And so our beaver prices have increased a lot in the last year or two.
That's awesome. And I think something that's changed too, the way you buy the beaver.
Well, in the Hatter Market, it's pretty much by the pound on finished beaver. So
Okay.
They don't have to be real pretty or anything like that. They just, what brings the most is the bigger beaver. Size is really the main thing that matters. They need to have fur. It's fur that they use, but they damages isn't that big of a deal if they're spread out decent. And that we just want a lot of weight, big beaver.
Now, can you tell me about, like, you buy them by the pound? What's it going like? If I'd have brought 2 or 3 beaver in here, how would you have monetized, weighed those for money? How much would you have paid per pound?
$16 a pound right now.
Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, that's that's really cool. That is so cool. He got so much fur around here, folks. It's ridiculous. Bobcats, sacks of bobcats. And the muskrat market is kind of it's not horrible, but it's not great, is it?
Yeah, right now there isn't much of a rat market. A lot of people like myself are buying on speculation on the muskrats. There's not a lot right now, but in general there's some optimism, just the fact that there's hardly any ranch mink in the world. You know, about 8 years ago we produced as a world 140 million ranch mink, and now that number is below 20 million, so that's basically nothing. And we're hoping with the lack of ranch mink that they'll start using other products, and the very first thing that they're starting to use is the otter, and that's why we're seeing an increase in the otter prices. Right now there's no real orders for rats, but I've been buying rats and hope that by next year, you know, the otter won't be able to fulfill the millions and millions of ranch mink that isn't in the system no more, and they'll need to go to more, and hopefully muskrats or whatever else takes their place will be something along those lines.
I know back in the day, mink used to be invaluable. I mean, they were something else. And then the ranch market started, and the wild mink just kind of just dwindled down, didn't it?
Yeah, well, when they breed them and raise them, that ranch mink is many times bigger than the wild mink, and they're near perfect, where the wild mink makes a living out there in the wild, and he's far from perfect. He's, you know, you get damages and stuff, but there's no tick bites on them wild mink, you know, in cages. And, you know, all of our wild fur has to out there as living and getting damages and not perfect, but you know, that's just the way it is. But now without the ranch mink competition, I'm hoping that, you know, all of our wild fur will come back stronger, and it'll probably be 1 or 2 items at a time, and we're starting with the otter, and the beaver come back for a different reason.
Yeah.
But now it's just 1 at a time, and hopefully we get them all sooner than later.
And the cat market is holding its own.
Yeah,
pretty good. It's pretty fair.
It's fair.
Look at all these bobcats. There's a beauty right there. Oh, nice. Beautiful. That's interesting information, Jerry. Thank you. Now, in case you didn't catch that, what he said was, and I think you probably did, but I'm just going to reiterate it because I think it's pretty cool. These 2 are at $45, he said, and these 3 at $40 each. Now, I'm just telling you, from the last, I say 5 years, Those are excellent prices on otter. Wouldn't you not agree, compared to what we dealt with the last?
Otter have come up this winter.
Yeah.
Just, during season here.
Yeah, because they were bringing 15 and 20 bucks for the last 3 or 4 years, for sure, and even beyond that. So I am really happy with that. I'm just thrilled. It makes me wish I would have went out and caught more. That's what it makes me wish. But regardless of that, that's just pretty cool. Well, Derek, thank you, sir.
Yep.
That'll be awesome. Well, it's a short video, but I thank you for watching. That's interesting. So I get 45, 45, 40, 40, 40. Okay? And that pays for all of my gas that I did running and trapping these otter, because some of them I caught right at my house, didn't have to use no gas. But the gas that I did use, I got reimbursed right here by selling them, and that's just a pretty cool deal. So appreciate you watching, my friends. So subscribe if you would, and hit that like button if you'd like to do that. And wherever you're at in this world, have a good morning, good day, good night. And my friends, there's another video coming right around the corner.